Okay, so as you can see, the model Monique is, her face is already done. So I've already done her foundation, and I've already set the foundation, and I've done light toning. So if you turn to the side, any side, Monique, and then if you turn to the other side, you'll see that the face is nicely and really gently contoured. I really wanted it to look soft, and I didn't want anything heavy. So today's tutorial, we're going to work on the eyebrows. So Monique has amazing eyebrows, so it's not going to be much work for me. So we're going to just quickly start off by brushing the eyebrows up. So when you do this, it will highlight the areas where there is any gaps. Now, as I said, if you turn to me, Monique, you can see that Monique's eyebrows are gorgeous. So this is every makeup artist's dream, to have models, yeah, to have models who have amazing eyebrows. Really, really helps. It's okay. Right, it's all right, we're having a bit of a meltdown, it's all right. Okay, so I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, and it's one of my favourite eyebrow pencils to use. And what you're going to do, you're going to do a little dot, and then you're going to try and imitate the hairs. Now this one is the colour dark brown. I normally actually use brown, so I'm going to stop a minute, and I'm going to use the brown before the dark brown. And I'd like to do that because I like it to have a bit more density, and it just gives a really nice tones. So as this is the brown, it's just filling in the areas where there are any gaps. You will get different clients that will have different eyebrow shapes, and you just have to work with it. So as you can see, what I do is I've put the product onto the brow, I am brushing it out. So I'm just blending that in, and I'm going to go ahead now with the dark brown, so the same Beverly Hills, and you can see I'm starting just a third into the brow, because I've kind of worked into the brow with the brown. And so as this is a darker shade, we're going to work on more of the ends, mid to end of the brow. And just take your time with this, you don't have to rush. It is really important for you to take your time, because brows are really, really important. I'm just going to bring the brow down, just brushing it down for a moment, because I'm just going to check to see if there's any areas. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to check with the brown, so the brown Anastasia Beverly Hills, so that if I make any mistakes, or if I go over too much, it won't be as noticeable. Okay, so I'm going to brush the brow back up into place. It's really important to get your model to look in different directions, because what you want is a three-dimensional look. So you want to know that in every angle the brows are filled in, and so you're not going to have areas where it's showing gaps. So you must always check your angles. So I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now another trick is if you have clients that have oily skin. Now a beautiful model has got oily skin, so it's really important to use some translucent powder, which I'll do afterwards, so that it will set the brow and it will stop it from looking wet in any way. I see a lot of tutorials where there's a lot of concealer, and if you take your time with the brow, I am going to be using a concealer to clean up some of the areas, but you don't need to put tons and tons of concealer on the eye just to get that perfect shape. If you take your time doing it the first time, so it looks more natural. And if you're just a makeup enthusiast, you know, you like makeup, you like to do your makeup and do it well, this tutorial's for you as well. I am using the Mr. Brown, and I'll put, this will come up on the description box as well, Mr. Brow Groom, and it's by Givenchy, one of my favourite brands. And I'm using a disposable brush. So when you're working with clients, it's really important that you use things that are disposable so that you don't get any infections. And I'm lightly just brushing that brow up, and I'm setting it with the gel. You know the saying that it says brows are not to look identical. They're supposed to look like sister or sisters or something like that. Is that how it goes? Is that the saying? Not sure.
Not sure.
But seems alright.
I think that's your saying.
Could be my saying. Because I forget half the time. About the saying. Right, so I'm just looking for a brush that I think, right, so this is just a standard brush. It's not a fancy matte brush or anything. It's just a flat brush that I'm just going to be using to clean up the brow and to give it a shape. And if you look, I'm not using a lot of product, and if you are thinking about becoming a makeup artist, product is king. You spend a lot of money on your product, so you don't want to be using out a lot of product and then wasting it. And actually it looks nicer when you build. You use too much product, what you'll find is that there's no coming back from that. Just I'm not going into that third bit of the brow. I like to just do it at the high points of the brow. I think it's much nicer that way. And don't be scared to use your fingers, guys. It's fine. It's actually a great blending tool because your body heat as well really helps to warm up the product, and it makes it even easier to blend. I'm trying to take out my model's eye here, which I know she wouldn't be happy about. Alright, so remember I said about having some translucent powder on the brow. So I've got just a little bit of that product left. This is a brush from Cosetti. This is one of my favourite brushes, the S123, and I love this brush. So I have got a little bit of product left on here, so I'm just using what I have to look up. And there you have it, the perfect brow. And a cheesy smile.
Always.